Welcome to the Private Lender Podcast with your hosts from Hard Money Bankers, Jason Balin and Chris Haddon. This podcast is sponsored by hardmoneymastermind.com.
Hey everyone, Chris and Jason here, Private Lenders Podcast. Thanks for checking out this episode. As always, sponsored by hardmoneymastermind.com. Go check it out. Create a free account and join the conversation there. Also, one other quick housekeeping item. It looks like we do have one spot. I was incorrect when I said this before. It looks like we have one spot left in our Inner Circle meeting, which is here in early May, here in Maryland, with a group of about 20-25 really solid private lenders from around the country. If you're interested, go check out Hard Money Mastermind, innercircle.com. One spot left, I believe. All right. So we're talking about the two hats that we wear each day we come into the office to run HMB. And the two hats are, or the two roles are, that of a real estate lender and that of a business owner. And here's how we break that down. So when we talk about being a business owner, which we are, when we started this company 15, 16 years ago, that's what we became. And with that are the responsibilities of marketing, operations, and finance. That's how we break down that side. And then the other side is real estate loans, doing the things that we do every day related to working leads, quoting deals, closing deals, managing the portfolio, investor relations, default, anything transactional related is half of the job. And the mistake that a lot of people make that we work with a lot of lenders, obviously, and people definitely make the mistake of thinking that their entire job is being a real estate lender, and they neglect the marketing, ops, and finance business owner role. And we're going to break down that concept for you.
Yeah, no doubt. And I think it's important to say, how much time we potentially spend on each one of those individual roles. And I think when you start out as a lender, right, it might be tailored a little bit more to, hey, I'm going to spend more time on the lending side, less time on the business owner side. I mean, that's not the right way to do it, but I can certainly understand why I think folks would lead to that, because they're in the learning phase, they're in the education phase, they're in a phase where, something that might take an experienced lender might be second nature, might not take any time. It could take them hours and hours and hours or a week to potentially do, just because you don't know how to do it, right? So I think a big takeaway as we go through this is the understanding of, like you said, there's the lender side and there's a business owner side. And no matter what happens throughout your day, you got to be spending time on the marketing aspects, on the operations aspects, on the financing aspects of the business, even if it's only for a few minutes, right? And ultimately, that'll shift as you have a well-developed operation, and you'll be able to spend more of your time and more of your leverage on bringing in more deals, marketing for more deals, creating better systems and operations in place, things like that. But I think that's kind of one thing to note, that as you start off, ultimately it's going to be like, hey, I'm going to be the operator inside this operation, right? Because you kind of need to be, like, someone has to do that stuff, but it's important to understand the other components.
Yeah, I think that over the years, we've maintained, even at the beginning and through today, we've maintained a pretty good 50-50 split. No joke, day to day, between the business owner stuff and the real estate lender stuff. I think that's a good target for really anybody based on, what we've seen and experienced over the years. So when we're talking about the business owner stuff, we're talking about, like we said, marketing, operations, and finance. So let's just discuss a couple specifics within those. So in any day that happens marketing related, I'm going to be, me personally, this is not our team, this is like me personally, doing email broadcasts, doing some kind of content like a video, podcast, keeping an eye on paid traffic, maybe doing a little education stuff related to what other marketers are out there doing. Every day, a few of those things are happening in some form or another, right? When we talk about operations, over time, ops gets a little smoother as you have your systems in place, but there's always something going on. Like, we recently transition from one version of TMO to TMO Pro, which is our loan servicing software. And there's some glitches and stuff like that, and like training employees and like, some things to be ironed out in that process. And there's just stuff like that pops up here and there. And then when we talk about finance, and this is also how, not only like what I do, but how I organize these things in my brain, right? And my game plan. So related to finance stuff, there's always something going on. Like we're looking at monthly reports. Right now it's tax season. I'm approving the tax returns and K1s as they come across. I'm keeping an eye on our, different, where our money is, what it's bringing in, stuff like that. And that's not only for transactional type stuff of like new loans closing, that would be transactional on the other side, but like general, like CFO financial management of our operation. That business owner stuff that I just mentioned there is 50% of my day. And I like it, and it's fun. And I think that, it becomes, I don't know, that's an attractive part of being an entrepreneur to me, is working on those things I just mentioned.
Yeah. And I mean, those are high level important things that I think if you don't get in a habit of doing that early on, you're going to always be in the transactional mousetrap. Like you just gave yourself a job world. And those are very, very, I mean, we were kind of fortunate that we jumped into good habits, mostly because we started from scratch. We didn't really know what we were doing. And it was kind of just second nature to us to be like, yo, like we got to go find deals. We got to go find capital. We got to go find deals. We got to figure out what we're even doing in this business. And everybody falls into the trap of market, right? And then all of a sudden you have deals and you stop marketing because like, hey, I'm slammed. I don't have time to do anything else. Or I hear a lot of people say like, I'm scared to go find new deals because I don't have the capital to back it, right? Like I don't want to go out and find new deals. And there's two sides of that. There are two reasons that's wrong. Number one, if you're in growth phase and you need, and you're looking for good deals and you're looking and you have need capital behind that, like every day, got to go find new deals, got to find new capital. New deals, new capital, new deals, new capital, right? So like that's number one. But number two, like I don't care if you've reached your capacity of how many deals you want to be doing and you're just completely self-funded. You always got to continue to market to find new opportunities because you're going to find better opportunities. And that's where it's at. Like, we've never been like market, stop. Oh shit. Now like everything's slow again. Now I got to start from scratch. Who would want to do that? Why not just keep everything snowballing? Slow and steady wins the race. Depending on where we're at inside our business or where the market is over the years, sometimes we're consistently marketing just to stay afloat because maybe we have a bad month. And thankfully, we have a marketing machine that we're continuing to grow and continue to be proactive on, that we can do so just to do the bare minimum deals. And then there's other times where we have that marketing machine going and we have a ton of deals going in. And guess what? All of a sudden, it's like, hey, like we have a ton of deals going on right now. Let's make our deals even better because we have a marketing machine. So, hey, let's cut our LTV or let's cherry pick the best of the best of the best because we already have so much on our plate at any given time. So I don't know. That seems second nature to me, but I feel like, and you've mentioned this before, like I feel like so many of these operators, it's like, yeah, I'll hire a marketing agency or, if I have time, we'll do that. Like you got to prioritize half of your day to this business owner stuff.
Yeah. I mean, it's going to end up equaling how well your portfolio performs, right? You need more deals, you need more leads because we can tell, oftentimes in people that we work with in the mastermind group, how we know that they don't have a good marketing plan? We just look at the kind of deals they're doing. We just look at the fact that they're doing some, 90, 95% financing on something and like way overly aggressive deals. And they typically know it. Here's another thing about the people who are doing risky deals is that they usually admit it right away. I know I shouldn't be lending like this, but I know these guys and blah, blah, blah. Like, or they get stuck in a trap where a borrower is used to getting these kinds of terms and they feel like they have to keep that going. And honestly, like what that just screams to me, I mean, the first thing is like, that's a little scary. We don't want anyone to lose money in this business. As a first mortgage lender, we're not supposed to lose money. Okay. That's the way real estate is structured. So when we see people doing these overly leveraged and risky deals, that just screams to me that their marketing game plan is not sufficient, right? You should have plenty of deal flow in this niche. There's a limited number of lenders, especially with the institutional people being all sideways. There's a limited number of lenders who actually have capital and can close deals to the point where we get to cherry pick a lot. And I don't mean cherry pick. That might not even be the right word. We get to quote the way that we need to put out safe loans that will perform and that we're not in danger of taking any kind of loss to principal. You should too. If you control capital, you should be there too. And how do you get all these loans and potential borrowers is marketing, right? And I know this kind of went a little sideways down the marketing rabbit hole, not only on the other stuff, but that's because it's so common in the mastermind that people think that marketing is some kind of cute little cherry on top, you know, a little addition to, oh, you're doing YouTube videos. Isn't that cool? Like, no, it's not. It's the gasoline for the entire thing, right? It's what is going to determine the performance of your portfolio and the success of your business. It is not a cute little cherry on top. We do not think we're TikTok influencers or anything like that. We're just here for lead gen. Capisce?
Yeah, no doubt. Yeah, and again, like we started with, the test that you could ask yourself every day is 50-50. Did I spend 50% of time inside my lending business? Did I spend 50% of my time on my business owner stuff? And I know a lot of folks, if you're just starting out and all of a sudden, especially right now, like you might get influxed with a bunch of deals because there's less liquidity out there, which is a good thing. So however you want to set up your day, you know, typically a lot of the stuff that we do internally is we set up our day that we do the business growth and the high level stuff earlier in the day, right? Because then you can check that off that you got it done. And then you can do some of the transactional stuff. Mm-hmm. Because if you wake up in the morning and you turn your phone on, it's probably already on, turn your email on, that's probably already on. I get that. But you open up your email and you look at your phone, it's going to start blowing up with transactional stuff every day. And you're going to get in the weeds. And this isn't just hard money lending. This is real estate agents. This is every business in general. If you let your business continue to control you all the time, it will. So at the very least, make sure you're doing the proactive, like, hey, like the winning, the real activities as early as you can, or in a place that you can create a habit behind it, because then you know that stuff will get done. And sometimes there's bigger days than others, right? Like you might be onboarding a new employee in your office, and all of a sudden the next week or the next month is just all operational stuff. No doubt. Get that stuff. And then there's sometimes there's downtimes, and there's sometimes where you have 3 loan closings in one day. That's fine. Mm-hmm. Those things happen, right? There's definitely days that we're like heavy on transactional stuff. But just, you got to keep in mind that business owner stuff has to be very front of mind, because if not, you're just going to grow this big old business, and drive yourself freaking crazy, because we've, been involved in that, where it's just like, it didn't work. And then you're going to do it on the wrong fundamentals. And then next thing you know, everything's done on a freaking piece of paper. It's not organized, it's not done the right way. So do things the right way from the beginning.
Absolutely. Yeah. So that's the big takeaway for this episode, guys, is do your best to split your days between 50-50 between business owner stuff, the marketing, ops, and finance, and 50% doing loans. If you can maintain that and then fast forward time, you're going to end up with a very big, nice, profitable, and efficient business. So thanks for checking out this episode. We will see everyone inside hardmoneymastermind.com. And then just one quick reminder that if you are able to attend in May, check out Hard Money Mastermind InnerCircle.com. We hope to see you here in Maryland, and we see you next time on the Private Lenders Podcast.
We hope you enjoyed this episode of the Private Lenders Podcast. Please note that the opinions stated by all the speakers on this show are only opinions and not intended for legal, financial, or accounting advice. Please make sure to always check with your own legal, accounting, and financial professionals. If you enjoyed this episode of the Private Lenders Podcast, we'd appreciate it if you would spread the word. Make sure to check out hardmoneymastermind.com, the #1 free community for new and experienced private and hard money lenders.